The typical way to handle wireless QoS within wireless LANs is to have hardware queues, typically for voice, video, data, and background traffic in the chipsets of each access points. When data comes into the access points, that data is categorized with TOS markings or other manual settings, and the traffic is categorized and flows into each one of those buckets, those queues. The problem with that technique is twofold. First, you have the manual categorization. So if you want voice traffic to be categorized as voice traffic, you need to specify exact settings. Once that data does reach the queues into those buckets, the problem is if you have only 4 queues on a global basis, if one client is misbehaving, you have a problem called head-of-line blocking. And that can actually prevent the traffic further down the queue from reaching healthy clients. What Ruckus Wireless does differently to approach this wireless QoS problem is twofold. First of all, we have a wireless heuristics classifier. What this heuristics classifier does is it really delves into the packet level layer, looking at things such as interpacket gaps, lengths of packets, etc., to really determine if traffic is voice, data, or video, but without having to have manual settings to determine as such. So once this traffic is categorized, we can shuffle it on to queues, but instead of having hardware queues, just 4 global queues, we actually have 4 queues on a per client basis in software. So what this allows us to do is really avoid that head-of-line blocking problem and also fully support delay-sensitive applications such as video and voice. Video traffic requires unique functionality on the access points in order for the video to be transmitted reliably. The problem with normal streaming video transmissions is they typically are sent out multicast. What that means is a multicast is a one-to-many type of protocol. When a typical access point receives this multicast traffic, what it does is it sends it out via best effort. What I mean by that is it's sent out at 1 megabit per second. There's no acknowledgments between the access point and the client. What Ruckus does in the SmartCast software is it identifies first the traffic is video through the heuristics classifier. At that point, that traffic is sent out as a directed broadcast packet to the specific client that requested that packet. How does the access point know that client requested the traffic? Well, we also implement IGMP snooping on our access points. So the access point is actually actively listening to these multicast requests. So if a client says, I want to join this multicast group, the access point says, okay, here you go. And it'll start sending traffic in that direction.